Okay, we are live. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for our Facebook Live. My name is Gabby, and I am here with Dr. McCarthy, who is a Boys Town pediatrician. Dr. McCarthy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for hopping on with us to discuss ways to get dad ready for baby. So, whether it is your first child or your third, bringing a new baby into the world is a big deal. So, for all the moms and dads watching, we hope that this can provide some helpful insight as you prepare for your new baby. And if you're watching and you know someone who is expecting, please feel free to share this video with them so they can learn a few things from Dr. McCarthy. And if you have any questions for us as we go through our discussion today, please feel free to leave a comment below and we can try and get your question answered at the end. So, Dr. McCarthy, like I said, thank you for joining us. So, you have kids yourself, right? How old are they?
That's correct. I have three children. I have a daughter who's going to be 4 in September. I have two twin boys who are 18 months now, well, actually 19 months now. And yeah, so we're busy. We're at home and having fun.
Definitely. Well, it's great to get your insight both as a pediatrician and as a dad. So, what do you think are some initial things that dads to be can do when they find out that their partner is expecting?
Right. So there's a lot. So
Okay.
it's a very exciting time, and there can be a wide range of emotions when you find out that you're expecting a child. A lot of it's just being there for mom. I mean, and being supportive for her and being present for her are some of the most important things. And then your job becomes, how can I help and what can I do to make sure that you and the baby are healthy? What support do you need? And just being present there and being there and sharing in the moment is just some of the best you can do, best things you can do at that time.
Yeah, definitely. So, are there any books or other resources that you typically recommend to families, or maybe that you read yourself in preparation for a new baby?
That's funny. So I read a lot of books regarding the children of children, just in my medical training and background. So there's a lot of textbooks and different things that I've read over the years. But as far as actual parenting books go, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I have one parenting. I know that's so bad to say,
That's fine.
but there are lots of them out there, and there's
Yeah.
lots of them that are available from all you know every different angle, I think. So one of the books that I kind of recommend and was recommended to me by one of my partners is a book called let's see, it's healthy. Let's see, I got it written down here. Healthy Sleep Habits, Happy Child, and it's by Mark Weisbluth. He's a physician that wrote this book, and it's really about learning to develop healthy sleep habits in your child, and that's one of the things I probably found most useful, and because sometimes getting a child to sleep at night and developing those healthy sleep patterns can be one of the more difficult things to do, and so that's a book that I do recommend. It's a good resource. Probably won't want to read it cover to cover, but it's something you can use as needed.
Yeah, as needed. That's great. So, what do you think on the other side of parenting prep classes? Are there any in Omaha that you would recommend?
Well, we did a couple of things before our daughter was born. She was born at Bergen Mercy, and they offered a kind of a birthing class there where you could go in and they could talk to you a little bit about what actually happens during childbirth, and what you can expect. It also was really nice because you can kind of tour the hospital, see where the labor and delivery unit is, see where the newborn nursery is, know where you're going to park, come to all these details that it's just nice to have planned out before, you go into labor, which,
Right.
You don't want to have to worry about where's the hospital or how
Yeah.
do we get or where are we going to park when you're in labor. So it's a nice thing to do beforehand, and it was helpful, I think, useful.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. So, you talked already a little bit about supporting your wife during pregnancy. So, what are some of the ways that you think viewers who are dads can do that?
Ask her what she needs,
Yeah,
pretty much. It'd be sometimes we come with our own ideas of what we think moms want and need to help get ready for the baby, and
right.
a lot of them just tell you if you just ask them.
Yeah,
So uh, uh, just listen and be available, and sharing the excitement of the baby and the challenges, because there's just so much that comes up.
hmm,
uh, Moms change a lot during pregnancy, and their bodies look different, their hormones swing. Um, there's there's just so many changes on a physical standpoint and emotional standpoint that happen during pregnancy, that just being available, being there, listening, helping problem solve through different things as they come up are really, I think, what a dad's job kind of is.
right. Yeah, they say communication is key in any relationship, and with pregnancy, it's like a double key. It's you got to communicate almost even more to reassure your wife that everything's gonna be okay and that you're there for them as a partner. So that's great.
Mhm.
Okay, so what should dads include in their hospital bag?
Right. So, well, you're looking at probably 2 to 3 days in the hospital most of the time. Um, so you want to have it generally like you're staying in a hotel, really. So you got to have your change of clothes, toothbrush, toiletries, all those kind of things that you're going to need. And then you got your baby gear that you got to get. And mom's got her gear that she's got to bring. So the good news, you're not going to you're not traveling across the globe here. So you can always run home if you need to get things. But a change of clothes and that kind of stuff is good to have. My wife told me, make sure that you tell everyone that they need to make sure they bring a pillow if they want a comfortable pillow,
Mm,
or if there's a blanket you want to use, make sure you bring that in there. uh, and Yeah, and then one of the things you want to get ready for too is you want to make sure the car seat's all installed. So
mhm.
you got your base in the car, and you know how to get the car seat in and out. So about a week or two before delivery, you want to make sure that you get that car seat base in, and you don't want to necessarily leave the car seat in the car, but as long as the base is in there and you know how to get that in and out, that'll help with going home and take a little bit of that stress out of that too.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So, as far as the actual birth goes, I know every birth is different for every family, but what advice do you have for dads during the actual birth?
Well, you want to know yourself too. Like, how are you a squeamish person? Are you sensitive to blood? Do you get kind of nervous around those kind of things? Then that may affect where you want to be during the delivery itself. And then as far as supporting mom, once again, this is what my wife told me too, and so she just gives me all my best ideas. She said, ask mom where she wants you during the delivery.
Yes.
You know, do you want her at the head? You want me to be at the head of the bed? I think that's probably the most place where most dads are, head of the bed, next to mom, holding her hand, giving her support. Um, and then other things to think about: do you want to cut the cord? Do you not want to cut the cord? If you got the chance to do that, because they will ask. And Yeah, but I think you'll be covered if you just think about those things.
Yes, definitely. So, what should dads know about the first few days after birth? So, this could be, the extra day or two or more that we spend at the hospital and then getting home and kind of adjusting into that new routine.
So there's a lot of transition that happens between being in the hospital and going home. The One of the things that I wasn't quite ready for is the lack of sleep. Newborns tend to have their days and nights pretty much backwards, and they will want to eat and be up at nighttime, and then kind of snooze and take naps during the day. And so you tend to be all messed up in your sleep patterns, and then depending if you're breastfeeding or formula feeding, I mean, you could be up every couple of hours, at least. And so expecting that, and knowing that that does get better, but it is a pretty rough week or two when you first get home, just from the lack of sleep standpoint. So taking naps and being ready for that, and if depending on what the feeding schedule is, if you can help mom out with a bottle here and there, or take the baby while she naps, and then she'll take the baby while you take a nap, and you kind of work out that schedule. That definitely helps. And then I would say plan on, and this probably goes into a different question, but plan on taking some time off. Being really, take a week or two or three or however much your work will give you, to really be home, because those are pretty precious moments that you're not going to get back. So to be home with the family is really important.
Mm-hmm. So if mom does choose to breastfeed, how can dad support her through this?
Right. So we're kind of like assistants or servers or worker bees. We might not be the star of the show, but we still have a crucial role, So there's a million things dads can do to make moms and babies' lives a little bit better. And that goes anywhere from changing diapers, or the baby's crying, you can pick up the baby and bring it to mom. You can, once mom starts pumping, within a couple weeks, maybe middle of the night, dad could offer a bottle of pumped breast milk, about 2 weeks of age. We can recommend that. And just fetching things and getting things that you need, or looking for stuff, or just even holding the baby. I mean, these are all things that are really needed, and really give mom a little bit of a breather, which are really important, but maybe not the center of attention.
Yes. Yeah. Being a good helper, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So what advice do you have as both a dad and a pediatrician on how dads can cultivate, a close, very special bond with their new baby?
Yeah, just take time and hold your baby. I remember when my Catherine was born, and I looked at her for the first time, and she was, this tiny little person that came into the world, and I just had this just disbelief that, like, this is my child. It was hard to even wrap my head around it. And it's just that connection that you just instantly have when you see your child for the first time, and you just never get tired of looking at their face.
Mm-hmm.
And you just hold them, and you just snuggle them, and it's just really special. And the more time you spend with your kids, and the more time that you can be around, and these are all things that go into your memory bank, and you hold back, and you hold on to them, and then you look back years later, and you're like, wow, I can't even believe that happened. So,
Right.
um, yeah, it's just really special. And so hold your baby, and just think about those, the miracle that they are.
Yeah. They do say it goes by too fast. So I love what you said about, treasuring those moments and keeping them close. So, okay. Any last advice for new dads from a dad, and even of multiples too? I think that would be something good to touch on, is if you have twins that kind of, or triplets, it changes the whole ball game. So what advice do you have?
Well, I would say, there's a lot that goes into that question. having really a kind of a spirit of just of trying to be there for mom and be there for baby is the biggest thing. Sometimes the best thing a dad can do is just show up,
Mhm.
right? To
Right.
be there, be dependable, be reliable, get things that mom or baby need to run, do the middle of the night run to Walgreens,
Yeah.
the diaper runs and the we need this or we need that, to be that guy to kind of take care of those things. Is there's kind of a time for dad to be the star. When kids get old and they start doing sports or different things, dads can kind of like, yeah, this is my wheelhouse, you know. But when kids are little, sometimes dads feel a little bit lost with
Right.
those things, and and your job's really is to make sure mom's okay, make sure baby's okay, and they got what they need, and they have the support and um, and all the care and love that they need. And if you do that, then you've done your job.
Yeah, definitely. So, for parents who are maybe browsing around the internet, looking around town to get set up with a pediatrician, how can families get in contact with you?
So a couple different ways. You can call the central line, which is Boys Town. It's 531-355-1234. Or our downtown office where I work is 402-498-6363. Happy to meet with any expecting parents anytime. If you just want to come by the office, we're glad to do that. You can set up a kind of we call a meet and greet. Or yeah, so just happy to chat with anyone anytime.
Perfect. And I will make sure for those who are watching to link our phone number, as he just stated, and our website so you can learn more about Dr. McCarthy and request an appointment via our website. So, thank you so much, Dr. McCarthy, for joining us today. Like I said, it is so great hearing from someone who's on both sides as a parent and as a pediatrician. So, we really appreciate your insight.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, and thank you to everybody watching. We really appreciate your time, and best of luck with the new baby. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.